There's no question we have to be practical. But being practical also recognizes that climate change is an existential threat to us as human beings. It's not about a cost, it's about an investment. And then the question should be, is it worth the cost in terms of the investment potential? Are we going to get back more than we put in?
That's Democratic presidential hopeful Kamala Harris on concerns over the price tag for proposals like the Green New Deal and Medicare for All. The California senator saying that they address issues that we cannot afford to ignore. Peter Ducey now from Capitol Hill Live. So, Peter, does the senator have an estimate on exactly how much all that could cost?
No estimate yet, and we don't know when we might get it, Eric, but it sounds like it would be June at the earliest, because Senator Harris says that she wants to have a debate on the debate stage about the cost of this, and that's not going to happen until June.
We have folks that are suggesting that we should buy science fiction instead of science fact. And we have got to correct course on this. It is an imminent issue requiring our priority, which is why I am supporting the resolution on the Green Deal.
And the cost of the Green New Deal is the one part of it that Democrats seem to get defensive about. Senator Cory Booker told me that it's a lie when critics say that it might be too expensive, but he and all the other 2020 Democrats are going to have a chance to go on the record with their support because Mitch McConnell plans to bring the resolution up for a vote in the Senate sometime very soon, potentially in the next couple days.
All right, and Peter, besides Senator Booker, what are the other Democrats saying about this?
That basically you have to spend money by tearing down every structure in the United States so that it is eco-friendlier to save money and then eventually save the planet.
If we spend money building here in America, that helps our economy. And at the end, when we build a new building, we got a new building, right? No, but this is important. When we spend money upgrading our buildings so they don't use as much energy, we have a more valuable building.
Warren today also took the extraordinary step of promising not to host any in-person fundraisers with wealthy donors. She explained that just because somebody is rich and they write her a big check, they will not get special access to her or special seating at VIP events.
Oh,
Eric.
Wow, those big bucks guys will be kind of mad at that. All right, Peter, thank you.
Thanks, Peter. More on this with our A-team. I told you they'd be back. There he is, David Avella, Marianne Marsh, and Tom Bevan. So, David, it's interesting to hear how those who have come out and publicly support the Green New Deal say we're going to pay for it, or it's an investment. Which is it?
The bigger question is, talking about paying for it, is what cost are Democratic candidates willing to put on China, the world's biggest polluter, on climate change? If they really want a Green Deal, if they really want to tackle this climate change, you can't do it without getting some buy-in from China. And what level of sanctions, what levels of tariffs are Democratic candidates willing to put on China to make them change their ways? Otherwise, it's just a big redistribution of economics. And let's keep in mind, folks, in 2009, with President Obama's Green Deal, which got us Solyndra, we ultimately were led to a huge Republican wave in 2010. So allow the Democrats to continue down the Green Deal path.
We talk about the cost, but we can't really talk about the specifics because there aren't a lot. We don't really know how they plan to accomplish the goals that this lays out.
Well, we're starting to see some of that. I mean, just to David's point here, I mean, Donald Trump did pull us out of the climate treaty, but I digress. The fact is, Dianne Feinstein is putting together legislation that takes Ocasio-Cortez's resolution, which has precious little details there, and putting details to it. So I think we are going to see some real legislation there and some real effort to put this together.
What do you think will be in it?
Well, look, I give Ocasio-Cortez the credit for sparking the debate. I mean, she got a lot of attention to an issue that has been dormant for at least 2 years now. But it's someone like Dianne Feinstein and others who really need to put the details together to do it. And I think Ocasio-Cortez would be better served if she worked with someone like Feinstein to put a real legislation together with real details, real plans, real dollars together to get something passed and really change things than just using social media to talk about it and not get something done.
Well, in case you missed it, AOC then, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, then took on Dianne Feinstein over the weekend in this online bit. Watch.
the issue's gotten worse. So I don't think that working on an issue for 30 years alone is what qualifies is what makes someone qualified to solve an issue. That said, there are a lot of people that have been doing this work for decades, that have proposed ambitious solutions for years and have not been listened to.
Tom?
She also said in that Instagram post that people should consider not having children because that also represents a threat to the planet. Listen, give Ocasio-Cortez credit for sparking the debate, but it's not necessarily, it's a debate that's going to cause a schism within the Democratic Party. She's taking swipes at members of her own party. She's saying climate delaying is the same as climate denying. So this is something that's going to be hashed out in the primaries in 2020 and also in Congress with Nancy Pelosi. But it's not necessarily a great development for Democrats. And I always look at all these issues. How do these issues play in the 7 states that are going to matter in 2020, right? The Midwest, right? Ohio, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Florida. Outside of that, it doesn't really matter.
Well, they're already fighting each other. Here's what Dianne Feinstein said, basically, when she met with this group of kids in San Francisco.
You know what's interesting about this group is I've been doing this for 30 years. I know what I'm doing. You come in here and you say it has to be my way or the highway. I don't respond to that. I've gotten elected. I just ran. I was elected by almost 1 million vote plurality. And I know what I'm doing. So, you know, maybe people should listen a little bit.
So, Marianne, how did Dianne and Alexandra, can they get together on this?
Well, I think when you watch the entire tape, Dianne Feinstein does much better. Here's the challenge for Ocasio-Cortez. Do you want to be more like Bernie Sanders, who over a 30-year career has only passed 1.8% of all the legislation he's ever introduced and talks a lot but gets nothing done? Or do you want to be more like Dianne Feinstein, who has passed some of the most landmark legislation in our country, going back to the days when she was in San Francisco City Hall holding Harvey Milk after he was assassinated?
David?
We can't allow Marianne off on those platitudes. We know what's in this. We know what's in this Green Deal. This is getting rid of fossil fuels. This is about the only people that are going to get to fly private are Bernie Sanders, who demanded out of the Clinton campaign that he get to fly private planes. Only Democrats at elite positions will get to fly private planes under this Green Deal, according to their belief in the world. And to Tom's point about what's it matter in the 7 states, get rid of fossil fuels, and you're ensuring Trump wins Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Ohio, Michigan. That's what this Green Deal is about, folks, and let's not forget that.
I think polling shows you otherwise.
All right.
Okay.
We'll leave it there.
All right.
Thank you to our A-team. Second time around.
Exactly.